the second chapter, the separation techniques. Last class we have seen that evaporation, centrifugation, sublimation and chromatography. Today we are going to discuss these topics. Okay, in that we are going to see first distillation. Okay, distillation, what are the three conditions for distillation? First, the substances, the two liquids should be miscible. What do you mean miscible? It should mix with each other. So two liquids you are going to separate using this technique. That should be miscible. And it should not decompose. So the liquids what you are distillating, separating should not decompose. Third point is it should have a boiling point difference. Okay, it should be more than 25 Kelvin. It should be more than, at least more than 25 Kelvin or Celsius. Okay, so the boiling point should be the difference between the two liquids. The boiling point should be more than 25. So it should be, the two liquids should be miscible. It should mix with each other. They should not decompose, and the boiling point difference should be 25 Kelvin more than that. Okay. These were the three conditions for the distillation. Then the distillation is done in which two processes takes place. One is evaporation. Another one is condensation. Okay. So when you take two liquids, okay, in a distillating flask, okay, which has the liquid, your thermometer should be inserted, and you should keep this in a tripod stand, Bunsen burner, okay, and a stand. It should be fixed, and you have a condenser, and you will be getting the liquid here. Okay, we can obtain in a beaker. So label this. This is a condenser, inlet of water, outlet of water. This is a condenser. This is thermometer. Distillating flask. Okay. The liquid you will be getting, for example, you are separating acetone and water, or alcohol and water, any two substances which are miscible you are separating. So you have to write this all the label diagram, and you will be getting, first for example, acetone means you will be getting acetone, alcohol, then only water, because it has very low boiling point than water. So you have to label the diagram and explain. You have to take two liquids. Okay, we are going to heat it. We have to heat it, and during the boiling point, the first which substance have low boiling point will go to the gaseous state, and it is condensed, and you will be getting the liquid. This is all the explanation you should write it for distillation, and what for it is used to separate two liquids which are miscible. This is a basic principle. Okay, while heating, evaporation takes place. While condensing, what you have cooling, it takes condensation takes place. This is for separating only two miscible liquids. Fractional distillation, we can separate more than two liquids. Okay, it undergoes fractional distillation, and here need not have boiling point difference more than 25. It can be of any difference. No need for bothering about the boiling point. Then it can be separated. Okay, by using a fractionating column, and which contains glass beads that provides space for the gas, and the surface of that it touch, and it will be getting cooled, condensed. Again further in the condenser it takes place. So twice the condensation takes place in fractional distillation. Okay, so the fractional distillation is used for separating petroleum. From the petroleum you will be getting the crude oil, petrol, diesel, LPG gas, bitumen, all these things. We can separate it by using fractionating column. Based on their boiling point, they will be attained in the different layers. Okay, you should know the difference between fractional distillation and distillation. Distillation means only you can separate two liquids. here more than 2 liquids. Then the boiling point difference should be 25 Kelvin here. That is, it can be of any. And condensation temperature is once, here twice, because of the fractionating column is extra. So these are the points you should keep in mind. When they ask difference, you should write it. Okay. Then what is crystallization? Crystallization, no, you can get the pure solid crystals. Pure form of solid can be obtained by crystallization. First, what you have to take is the substance which undergoes crystallization only. That's all you have to take. For example, copper sulfate, sodium chloride, all these things. So, this salt should be added with water. How much it can dissolve you are adding. Again, you heat the water. Again, you can add some more, because when the temperature increases, the solubility also increases. So, how much it can dissolve in the hot water, you dissolve the salt. Okay, first you are heating it, then you are dissolving it. So, now after that you should do filtration. Okay, the filtration is done so that the impurities will be settling on the funnel. You will be getting pure liquid. Okay, when you are filtering, you will be getting pure liquid here. The impurities, okay, everything settles here. With the filter paper you will be doing. The filtrate, what you will be getting is called filtrate, is a pure substance, that is saturated solution. Okay, free from impurities. The impurities settles here, that is called residue. Okay. So after filtration you will be getting saturated solution, then you have to cool it. If you cool it, okay, you will get the pure form of crystals. Pure solid crystals you will get. If you take copper sulfate crystal. Sodium chloride crystal. Calcium sulfate crystal. Like that, according to the salt you will get crystal. Okay, what is the advantage of crystallization over this evaporation? Okay, evaporation, they may contaminate with some other solid particles, but here in the crystallization impurities will not be there, you will get pure form. Second one is when this heating purpose, okay, when you are heating this substance, they may decompose, they may char. Char means they will get spoiled, it gets wasted. So what is the purpose of separating? You should get the pure substance. Okay, when it is charred, it will be wasted while evaporating, heating. Sugar will be charred. Charred means it became brown. Then it is not useful. But in crystallization, you will get as a crystal pure form. That is why crystallization is far better than evaporation. So impurities will not be there. Pure form you will get. Next one is what? It will not be wasted, decomposed. That's why crystallization is far better than evaporation. This is the advantages over evaporation. Then what is application? No, we can get the pure form of crystals. And alum, no, the purification of water is used. Double salt, potassium sulfate and aluminum sulfate. That salts all you can get it in pure form, so that you can use for purification of water, some other purpose. Okay, this is the application. Use. So this is crystallization. The next one is, what do you mean by physical changes and chemical changes? Physical changes, new substance will be formed? No. No new substance is formed in physical change. Only in chemical change you will be getting new substance. Okay, that is the first point. Second one, the original character of the taken substance, what you have taken, will be same after the physical change takes place. Original character. For example, iron plus sulfur is mere mixed. They will have individual character. Iron will be getting sticked into the magnet. So it will not lose its individual character in physical change. When iron plus sulfur is heated, it becomes ferrous sulfide. Then it loses its original character. Second point. Third point, this is reversible. You can again get back. Chemical changes, only few are reversible. Mostly it is irreversible. So it is reversible change. These are irreversible change. These are temporary changes and these are permanent changes. You can bring back the original substance by physical method. Some of that can bring back to the original original substance by chemical or electrochemical method. So these are the points we have discussed. Apart from that, whenever you are revising chemistry questions, no, they may ask you the difference. For example, homogeneous, heterogeneous difference, colloidal solution, true solution, suspension difference. Okay, homogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixture. Then physical changes, chemical changes, mixture, compound, element, compound. Like that, the difference also they will ask. Apart from that, give reason. Okay, why you have to use separating funnel for separating immiscible. So what is the reason behind it? Because they will not mix with each other and we can separate it easily. Like that, they will give you the answer and they will ask why you, what happens, what is the reason behind it. That questions you have to learn. Okay, this is the way we can revise. Okay, thank you. Revise well. All the best.